Alright, geometry. Welcome back for another one. Okay, today we're going to focus on the 30, 60, 90 triangles. Alright, day 2 of our section 7.4, 30, 60, 90. Okay, you can see the pattern here that we're going to have is that in a 30, 60, 90, okay, remember from last chapter, the shortest side is across from the smallest angle. So the smallest angle here is going to be 30. So across from 30 is our short side. That's going to start with x. Okay? And our other two sides are going to be a multiple of x. The hypotenuse, the longest side, always across from the right angle in a right triangle, is going to be 2 times x. Usually those two are going to be pretty easy to go back and forth between, because you're either doubling this to get there or cutting this one in half to come back to here. Alright, and then once we have this one, all you have to do to get to the long leg across from 60 is just whatever this is times radical 3. So if this is like a regular number like 5, 6, 7, 8, stuff like that, pretty easy, just tack on that radical 3. It gets a little confusing when this has a radical involved, and then you have to take that times radical 3. It gets a little more challenging. But I'm sure you will be fine. Alright, let's take a look here. Some 30, 60, 90 right triangle practice. Okay, so I'll just draw in the little, and sometimes guys, if it's not already on your sheet, this is very helpful to just have just this little picture sketched in. X, 2x, x radical 3. It can be helpful. Okay, so here we are. Which side do we have? They've already filled in the short side for us, the x side, so pretty easy here to get going. Okay, hypotenuse is across from 90, so I need to do 2 times that. 2 times 31 should give me 62. And then my long leg across from the 60 is going to be x times radical 3. Well, this is my x, so it's just going to be a 31 times radical 3. That's it. Piece of cake. They tried to give us a little bit more difficult here. They started us with 15. Which side are we on? We're on the hypotenuse, the 2x side. Okay, so how do I get from here down to the short leg? We're going to divide that by 2, cut it in half. And if you want to write it as 15 over 2 or 7.5, I don't care. Whichever one of those is more comfortable for you. Okay, and then whichever one you picked here, this is whatever this one was, times radical 3. So if you did it fractions, it'd be 15 radical 3 all over 2. Or if you were decimals, it'd be 7.5 times radical 3. Okay, whichever one, I'm fine with either one. Some teachers make you do the fractions. I'm fine with either one for that part. Okay. Number 3, oh, they gave us the radical 3 side, okay? Radicals, square root signs, we're getting a little worried. Don't panic, okay? Look what side it's on. It's across from the 60. This is supposed to be the x radical 3 side. This is 4 radical 3. So what's the number in front? 4. So 4 is going to come over here, okay? And then how do we get from the short leg to the hypotenuse? It's times 2, 8. There we go, piece of cake. Okay, so that was an example of each one, each possibility. Okay, what do I do if I was given the short leg? What do I do if I was given the hypotenuse? What do I do if I was given the long leg? And for the most part, those were all pretty much ideal. Whole numbers, okay, we had a 0.5 there, still not terrible. Okay, whole numbers, all right? Okay, number 4 is going to be a little bit trickier. They gave me 8. Look what side it's on. It's not the hypotenuse. It's not the short leg. Okay, it's the x radical 3 side. So just like on the 45, 45, 90s, okay, just because the side says it was an x radical 2, or in this case it's an x radical 3, doesn't mean it always has to have a radical in it. It could be a nice one. That just means that these are going to have the square root signs in it. Okay, so this is on the x radical 3 side. When it doesn't give you a nice one, that like works out real perfect and matches up with this, what I like to do until you figure out some personal little shortcuts for yourself, this is on the x radical 3 side. So I do x radical 3, and what is it equal to? It's equal to 8. Okay? Let's solve for our x, and not like this. This is going to be x, this is going to be 2x. Don't want to confuse that x with, I'm trying to get the short side. Okay, so let's divide by radical 3. Alright. And x equals 8 over the square root of 3. Oh, got a little ahead of myself. 8 over the square root of 3. Okay, and we know, though, from our square root work that it's bad math grammar to finish or have your answer with the square root in the bottom. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. Okay, so we got to go square root of 3 on top and square root of 3 on the bottom. And what that will do, okay, it's going to give us an 8 radical 3 on the top, and the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is going to make a regular 3. Okay, how come it makes a regular 3? Well, the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9, and I can do the square root of 9, regular 3 on the bottom. Okay, that was a lot of work, and all we've gotten, that goes here. 8 radical 3 over 3. Okay, so if you can believe that, 8 radical 3 over 3 is here, and if I just take this times 3, that comes out as 8. Or times radical 3, this is going to come out as 8 over here on this leg. Okay, because I would do whatever this leg is times radical 3 to get this side. And when I do that, I'll get radical 9 on the top, which is 3. And I'll have a 3 on the top, which will cancel out the 3 on the bottom. And I'll just be left with 8. Okay, I still need the bottom side here. And once we have this one, it's pretty easy. We just take this times 2. So instead of 8 radical 3 over 3, now my bottom's going to be 16 radical 3 over 3. Okay, see how that's twice as much there? Alright. Let's see what else we have here for fun. Combo, special triangle combo problems. So we got 30, 60, 90. Oh, we're going dark. Lights come back on. There we go. We got a 30, 60, 90 over here. And it's not very well marked, but what that should be making is a 45, 45, 90 on the other side. This whole angle, I see, this whole angle is 105, 30, 90. So that means this piece of it is 60, which means that side is 45, and this one's 45. Okay, so we're going to have a combination of our two types of triangles. All right, so let's just start over here. This is going to be a 30, 60 degrees for this corner of the 105. Is just going to be 60 right there for that corner, 90. So this is the hypotenuse, 16. So what does that mean for this leg over here, the short leg? Half as much. This one we're just done, 8. And that makes this side 8 radical 3. Okay, now let's go back to what we did the day before. 45, 45, 90. If this side is 8, this side's also 8, and then my hypotenuse over here is 8 radical 2. Alright? So those can be kind of fun problems to do as well. Should we try this one? We can try this one, sure. These are both going to be 30, 60, 90s. So we had 18 for the short leg. That's going to double up to be 36 on the hypotenuse. And my long leg over here is 18 radical 3. Pretty easy. Now the tricky part over here is now that on this little triangle, the 18 is on the radical 3 side. Yuck. So x radical 3 equals 18. X equals 18 divided by radical 3. Can't stop, can't have a final answer with a radical on the bottom. So I do radical 3 top and bottom. Well, 18 radical 3 over regular 3. I can divide 18 and 3. Oof, lots of fun for this one. 6 radical 3 then for my short leg. And then if I double that, we'll have 12 radical 3 for my hypotenuse. Okay? So these two are just some extra kind of combo problems. It's good to do. Okay, just separate them into pieces here. All right, and I actually want to see a nice little trick. Look at this whole big thing. The two triangles together make one big 30, 60, 90. Short leg of 12 radical 3, so what would the long leg be? Or the hypotenuse. Double that up to 24 radical 3. And look what these add up to. 6 plus 18, 24 radical 3. And then this would be whatever this is times radical 3. So 12 radical 3 times another radical 3 is going to make 12 times regular 3, 36. Pretty cool how they all piece together like that. Okay? So you have another worksheet over 30, 60, 90, and then there aren't any new notes for day 3. You're just going to have a worksheet that is mixing and matching the 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90s. There won't be any of those on there, but those would be good ones to kind of look at these because there is one or two of them on the practice quiz. Okay, and then we just took our quiz today over that. So this will be the last video for a couple days until we get started on 7, which one was this? This is 7-4, so when we get started on 7-5. Alright guys, enjoy, have a good weekend. Hopefully everyone starts feeling better when we have full classrooms next week. See you later.